Alright, good evening everyone. Hope everyone's had a good start to the week. So, I guess it's time for more Monday Night DevOps. So we're just going to take things pretty easy tonight. We're not going to do too much. We're going to have a look at kind of expanding what we've done so far by adding environments to our system here, so our little Twitch app, and then we're going to set up dev and test, then set up the CI/CD so that you can deploy across all three environments, and set up kind of a bit of a development workflow so that we have our production, which is always live with the newest kind of the good changes that have been tested, and then our test and dev environments for doing those respective things. So we'll just give things a couple minutes, just see if anyone else wants to jump on before I start. But hopefully everyone has had a great start to the week. As always, I will link the GitHub repo into the chat. So this is the GitHub repo we have been working on. And what we'll do is I've created a couple of issues on our to-do list for tonight. So one is set up the environments, the other is set up the CI/CD. So what we're going to do, just to start having a bit more of a workflow, we're going to move the environments task into in progress, and we're going to get on with that. Maybe what I should do, can I put it in a new tab? That's interesting. How doesn't that work? Okay, maybe I'll have to bring that one up with GitHub. Apparently the open in new tab from the triple buttons using Edge doesn't work. Cool, that's alright. That's alright. We can go in through here, in here, and we can just add a bit more description to this about what we're doing. I don't want to do the title. Can I edit this? Alright. Cool. So I've updated that. So that's the ticket we're working on at the moment. So what is this going to look like? So to start with, we're going to have to roll out the infrastructure. Now, if we go and have a look at the infrastructure we have in place. So we've got a container registry. That's kind of a shared thing. So we're gonna leave that in place. We got our app service plan. So we'll need that per environment, and database server with our SQL database and managed identity there. And what we might do here, just for simplicity at the moment, is set up. We'll leave the SQL server as is, leave the managed identity is, and we'll create different instances of the SQL database. So we'll have a prod, a UAT, or a test, and a dev. Just so that we don't have to have more than kind of one SQL Server instance, so just a bit of cost saving for this one. Obviously, if you were doing this in a proper big live project, you would have different database servers for each of the environments to make sure that they were standalone and no one could accidentally take out the actual server and interrupt all of the environments. Cool, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up, so we'll do this with the Terraform. I think that's going to be our best way to do that at the moment. So we've got our Terraform all set up here. So now what we should look at is a way of kind of reusing a lot of this Terraform without then having to kind of redo it for each instance. So let's maybe go do a bit of research while we're here, and then so what's multiple environments? So now what we're going to also look at here is sometimes I think with Terraform it's going to have multiple environments in reference to Terraform Cloud, which isn't quite what we want. So the HashiCorp. So yeah, let's talk about workspaces. We don't really want to do workspaces. So let's have a look. There we go. Organize Terraform modules for multiple environments. Okay, so this one's talking about. So this might be a good thing to do, good practice to anyway. It's actually turn some of this stuff into modules. So we can do that as well. Okay. So we're talking about here creating. So essentially, we create a single module. Hi Nemesis, no TwitchBot tonight. TwitchBot will be later on again in the week. Tonight is DevOps, so we've been over the last few weeks building up just a simple web app in Azure, and we've automated it so far with infrastructure using Terraform. We've got some CI/CD going, and we've enabled identity. So we have a database in the back end using Microsoft Identity Framework to do our identity and login type stuff. And tonight we're going to be kind of expanding on that a bit by trying to create multiple environments. So you've got a dev, a test, and a prod, and then setting up CI/CD to deploy to each of them. Cool, so a bit of Terraform work to start with, and just formatting that correctly. So that's TF plank, so we'll want to use TFR files as well. So just want to make sure that we're doing this cleanly, so we're doing a bit of research first. I think I was just in that one. So for me, with learning Azure, so I've been kind of working in Azure for the last kind of like 3-4 years. So a lot of this has come over experience, just a lot of playing around, a lot of reading, just kind of learning as I go, and kind of evolving as the service is involved. So that's kind of the pathway I took. But that also involved watching a lot of YouTube. I've watched a lot of different YouTubers doing things in Azure, and a lot of experimenting. So luckily I've managed to have a Visual Studio subscription for pretty much the whole time, and that subscription gives credits in Azure. So I've been able to use those credits to learn how things work and stuff like that. So, but there's plenty of ways to learn these days. There's all sorts of really good courses online. There's the Microsoft Learn website itself, which is really good. Gives you a bunch of kind of like labs to do and gives you kind of a real environment to work in as you're learning. So they've done a lot of work on that lately, which has been really nice. Alright, so what I mostly want to do here, okay, just thinking, we'll do maybe TFR files to start with, and then we'll put all of these components, so essentially all of this stuff in here on the provider in the main into variables, so that we can then deploy variables. Yeah, so certifications can be a bit dry sometimes. It depends on the certification and kind of what like information you're getting. There's some YouTubers that make it a bit more fun. I've never actually done a cert, so I can't give you a really good answer on what certifications are going to give you. But the main reason I haven't done certification isn't that I don't want to do them, it's that I never actually had time. I've always just been constantly working, so it's been one of those things that just haven't got around to. I should definitely do one, like at least this year. I want to try and get one done. Maybe the AZ204, which I think is development with cloud and Azure, just as a starting point. Would be just to get certification out of the way. Alright, so I'll need to turn this into a variable. So let's, okay. In infra, let's do a new folder, which we'll call dev, new folder called test, and a new folder called prod. And then in test, we want a new file, and that'll be dev.tf-files. And then we'll have a new file in test. Test.tf files, and then a new file prod. Alrighty. So now what we should be able to do here, if my memory serves me, is we do a variable. Is it variable? Now I can't remember off my head, so let's, yeah, I don't work with Terraform nearly as much as I should, so it's one of those things where I need to look it up every now and again and remember how it all works. So it's a variable definition file. What do I do to create it? Might as well. Do have access to Bing, so which has effectively Bing's GPT. So let's see what it gives us. Alright, so there's a file that you use to set the values of variables inside and specify variables. Okay, so we want to leave our variable, oops, wrong button. So you want to put more variables in here and then use this to provide the values for those variables. Cool. Let's give an example of TF-files so we know what the formatting is. While it's doing that, we will start to put some more detail in here. And we'll put this as app resource group. fine. Now, so we're going to make sure that we keep the resource group for the ACR the same. So we're going to do a variable shared resource. Let's go. I think so. Yeah. Two for now. Gotta stop hitting the wrong shortcut. Now that one we will go and grab this value here, put that there, and then we'll go back into our main, and this will be shared resource group. Okay, so and we'll rename this to shared, which means we're going to come down here, and I don't think where's Azure containers. Yep, so I want this one to be in shared as well, and then this will share the same as this resource group there, so that's fine. So I'll do that. Okay, and then the Twitch app ones will all be for the actual application itself. You can leave that in, that's fine. And we can leave the site config in, that's fine too. Alright, so now we need to put some more variables in. So we'll need a service plan name. So that's that. Just thinking, grab these and stick them here. Variable. So that'll be the app service plan. So Copilot's helping us here, which is good. And the app service. Alright, and then let's do a bit of a split screen. And TFR files, I just need to do the name of the variable equals and then what the variable assignment is. So that should be good. Alright, so we've got app service plan and our app service, which will be this one here. So we'll actually change that to app service web app, just to be super clear on what that is. So okay, so we've got the default will be this, and default will be that. Okay, and then what we'll also do is we'll set up a variable for the Docker image as well. Do the tag, and this is so that I can ensure that when we're deploying to a dev or test environment, we are not just deploying the production image straight away. And I might as well do the Docker image too. Okay. Yep, thank you, Copilot. And the tag will be so latest for the moment, but again we'll override that with the TFVars file. Okay, so let's come up here and we'll do bar. This is app service plan. This terminates web app, this will be Docker image name, image tag. Alrighty. The identity stays the same. The Docker registry URL will stay the same. Okay, so the ACR name's already set there. Cool. Alrighty. Not gonna bother changing the SKU on that or the Linux B1 instance there. That should be fine. Alrighty, so let's drag this over here. Now we should set up our dev vars. So we leave the shared resource group and all that stuff will be the same, but the app resource group will be equal to, so DMC Twitch dev RG. I'm just going to check what I used. So I used Twitch app 01 here. Yes, I should. I'll just do this one here. Actually, I'll do it this way because I am in my Visual Studio, so I don't need to share this with other people. So that's okay. I can kind of leave it there, and then we'll do the same for. Now I'm feeling that this needs to be lowercase for the service plan. So Twitch app dev plan, we'll call it service like that. Okay, and then we want app service mix web app. And we'll just shorten that there. That's right. And then we'll do the Docker image name, and it will just be. We'll keep the same name. So. Which I should grab the whole name, because the container will be the same container, but it'll just be the tag that it's being tagged with that'll be different. So it won't be latest, it will be tagged with dev. And that way we can know that if the tag dev is the latest dev image each time. And we'll do the same for test. Prod we won't do. Prod will leave as that main tag as it is now. Cool. Alrighty, so that should be fine. So let's copy all of those and stick them into test. Now the other thing that's going to happen here is we're going to have to deal with variables and stuff like that in the code to do with our app settings on our database for our connection string. So I'll go check that in a minute, but that should be fine. I'll call that prod. And then this one will just be latest. Alright, so that should be all of those done. Alright, I just want to go check how was I doing the connection to the... Okay, so I was doing the connection here like that. So I'll need to set this as environmental variable, I think. I'm just trying to think the best way to do that. is most likely inside the container itself, maybe. Actually, I could do the app settings here. Okay, that's a good question. Does that override? If I set this here, does it override what's in the app settings configuration? I don't know. Let's ask. Shopify. So you want to make sure that your JSON provider is registered before your environment variables provider. So maybe depending on the order of operations. Yes, the other thing we could do here is set the ASP.NET Core environment, ASP.NET Core environment. That might be a better way to do it, and that way we can then use these different. Yeah, let's try to do that rather than trying to mess around with that too much. So it does mean we'll need to set I'm going to need, that's JSON array, isn't it? So if I no doesn't like something. That I'm missing the end there. So do we need the semicolon there? Going off these ones, I don't. We'll find out in a minute. Alright, so I'll need to set that as a variable as well. Alright. So variable. Fine. Let's leave our environment. Cool. And then we're just going to go and add that to all the TF files now. And we'll call this one production. Alright, and then what we need to do is we need to set up in here. Let's copy, paste, and then rename. Test. And then just do paste again. And rename this to production. Alrighty. Cool, and then we should be able to, so this will just have the default. And then what we'll do is we will set this to be Twitch app dev DB. That one can stay as test, and then it'll be Twitch app production prod DB. Alright. Now there could be some issues with this moving forward. We'll find out where if we were to refer to the wrong catalog with queries and stuff like that, it could get a bit messy, but that's okay. We'll deal with that in a minute. Hey little, how you going? Cool. So today we are doing DevOps. So we've got an app that we built, which is just a very basic kind of Blazor app in .NET. Not really customized it very much. And over the last few weeks, we've been setting up infrastructure as code, deploying that to Azure, setting up our Twitch, our little app program to have identity. So it has a login system. We can log in and register. It saves the user information encrypted into a database, and that's all good, hosted on Azure. And then tonight we are trying to set up multiple environments. So you have a dev environment, a test environment, and a prod environment, and then you should be able to deploy changes from one environment to the next. So that's what we're doing at the moment. We're just setting up some basic stuff with Terraform, getting everything set up as variables so that we can apply different Terraform variables for our environments. And then I've just set up an app settings for each of the environments for the .NET app as well. So that should be all good. Alrighty, so now what are we doing next? So we've got this set up for our databases. Should be the connection strings are all set up in their configs. Got those variables set up. That should be fine. So now, one thing that I didn't do when we started this is create a new branch, but that's alright, I can do that now. Check out, and we'll call this env setup. Right, cool. So we're now in the env setup. So I'll do a git add all. So it'll add all these changes that we've put in into the commit. TFR files environment. Alright, now when we push this, and it's going to give us that error. I'll show you. Keep forgetting to set that up, but anyway, whoop. Don't think it liked me doing that. There we go. Alright, so push that up to the repo. Now, if I just go to our actions, shouldn't have kicked anything off yet, which should be fine. Our nightly builds have been all good, all green, which is nice. Alright, so if we go to the setup, so we should have our infra in place now. So what we need to do is we need to go set up environments. So let's go into our settings and set up environments. So going to call one dev. Okay, we're not going to need any kind of protection rules for dev. We're just going to be okay with everything being committed, so that's all good. We'll set up a new environment. We'll call this one test. There we can pick that environment. Now, normally in test you would have something like another reviewer because you don't want to override tests in progress. But again, it's just us, so that's okay. And what we might do is we will. Okay. So do we want to set it for? We'll set it for all branches at the moment. And we'll do any kind of special configuration later. And then prod. Cool. So again, this would be one where you would definitely put protection rules on, where you'd require reviewers. You might require kind of a wait timer, things like that. Enable custom rules with GitHub apps. Something we could do later. We could look at this. Looks like it's in beta. Looks like it's a new feature. Let you set up some kind of rules around how you deploy, which is pretty cool. I haven't played with that yet. That's certainly something to play with, as more gives you more control over how you deploy, what kind of things you check. Like you might go and check, has tests been run and has the test case returned and all been good, or has there been an approval put in an external system? Like you have some kind of system that manages approvals, could go and integrate there, things like that. So that looks cool. We'll look at that later. Alrighty, so that's the environment setup. Now, mostly want environment variables. Well, no, sorry. We'll do the workflow. We'll do the workflow. So we can do this all in workflow for the moment. So let's open up the workflows, and we'll open up our app service build deploy workflow. Alrighty. So let's think about how do we want to do this. So do we want to wait for releases? So do we want to do like a release pattern? So this is kind of around the developer workflow that we want. So where we would say that changes to master, been working in another company that still uses master as their main branch. I do prefer to call it main. So any change that gets pushed into the main branch should reflect production. So then what we have will be release branches, which can be so for development and for test. So we should definitely be able to tell if it's so if we say release, there we go. So that's what we want to do. So we want to check if the branch has effectively releases at the beginning, and then we'll say any there, which is good. So what we can do there is we can ensure that releases here never gets pushed into production, but will get pushed into dev and test. And then only changes that get pushed into main actually get pushed into production. So that's good there. Now I am going to have to go and do some play around with the OIDC connection, just because it's going to need to be able to deal with coming from branches with the name release. So that's alright, we can work on that. Okay. Other thing we can do here, so we won't do it tonight, but it'll be something to do in a future stream, is to change this to a template. So at the moment what I'm going to do is I'm going to verbosely program it all out, so we'll have all the steps kind of verbosely put through this entire thing. And then what we'll do is we'll set up a template that can run in each environment, which will reduce the amount of stuff in one file. So, but for now, we can do this now. Remembering how I do this. So Terraform plan. So I think we do it in here. And we do it, and we end, and we say environment. And this will be environment dev. So call that dev. So we don't need to do it there. Don't need to do it in the steps, we only need to do it in no, I think I can do this in a better way. I just think because that's gonna require me to redo it all. Should be able to do a matrix for each of them. Let's have a quick research. So, using environments for deployments. How should we be setting that up? So this has set up the environment. Yep. So jobs deployment runs on environments. That's fine. Actually, that should be fine. Okay. So. We want to do each environment. So we'll do dev test prod, and we only need to do prod if the change is coming from the master. Okay, I think this is also the time we now split out our infra pipeline from our code pipeline. Because it's just creating more complexity having both in the same. So, I'm just trying to think of the best way to kind of action that. Because it's easier to do with the development, because you can kind of just develop and then pass the deployment on to each environment, and that's okay. But with Terraform, you'll want to be doing the Terraform plan and everything per environment and applying it per environment as well. Let's just ask. Let's see if there's a good way with Terraform how we want to do that across. Let's using Terraform Cloud. I don't want to use Terraform Cloud at the moment. That's there. Let's pull Terraform environments. Yeah, so this is coming into that reusable workflow, so maybe I do need to do this up front with the reusable workflows. Okay. So this is just stepping through stuff we've already done. Well, this is using Key Vault, which is a better way of doing it. At the moment we're using OIDC to do the connections. Okay. says 2 Terraform modules. Okay, I don't really think we need the modules at the moment, that's alright. Alright, so this is more what we need, so alright. So let's do this. Do a new file and we will do we'll call it TF plan. So, and then we'll make one which will be new file TF apply. Okay, so name this one LVTF plan. This is on a workflow call. Inputs. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna take a bit of pretty much a lot of what this is talking about. Though a lot of the things we'll have here will be stored in environmental variables, so we won't need as much of this specified into here, I don't think. But let's get some stuff to start with anyway. And while we'll do that, we can refer back to our main workflow. Let's see if I can get my screen set up so I can see all the things at once. No, didn't want to split it. That's alright. See how many things we can fit on the screen at one time before it becomes unreadable. There we go. Okay, so it's pass. Well, we're already giving the path, and then all the things are already set. So all of the TF stuff is already, so it's in dev prod. So we'll need something next. We'll want to make sure we're calling the correct one based off the environment. So we'll call this one file. Okay. It's missing a type string. Alright, so that gives us the TF file. It says it's missing jobs, that's fine. We will then also do the GitHub environment. Okay, so that gives us the environment there. We'll grab this environment variables here. Okay, we'll go back to it's giving us a whole heap of stuff that we don't need. So we'll do client ID. Client secret. Wait, no, we don't use client secret. We're not using client secret. So it's subscription ID, tenant ID, and then the use IDC. Cool. So yes, that'll secrets there will most likely keep that stuff secret inside the pipeline when we actually go to run the pipeline. Alright, cool. Jobs. So we just call this one plan. So plan, that's fine. Runs on Ubuntu latest. Environment. And this will be the GitHub. We'll just call it. We should just be able to put inputs there. That should be fine. And then defaults will be that. So it's all still going to default to the infra directory, and that's fine. And going to use the. Are we still using Docker registry username and password? I don't think we are. Because I think we're doing everything kind of system managed, so I don't think we need that. We'll leave that in there for the moment, but I don't think we need it. So I don't think we need this. So steps, and now we essentially take the steps here. Stick them here. Now we don't need that, but what we do need here is actually we need the TFR file. Plan file is equal to file. What I called it. No, they have all the capitals as. That should be okay. Except for they set that up in the environment. Alright, so maybe we should set that up in the environment here too. Okay, that's that input. And then we need to set those up as well. Alright. And then this will need to be all changed to input. Actually, no, it'll still be secrets, won't it? So it'll most likely be these ARM. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I have a feeling I'm going to have to shift this into the secrets for the environment. I can't remember if using secrets here actually will get it from the reusable workflow or not. But we'll find out. We will find out if this works or if I have to redo it. That's okay. Yeah, I don't get to work with GitHub Actions day to day at the moment, so kind of wrapping my brain back around a lot of them at the moment. So, alright. so we've got the TFRs files here, which is now set up as a environment there. Alright. Okay, and then so that does the upload artifact. And we're going to do plus the environment there, so we can reuse that environment when we want to refer to downloading the correct version later. Okay. That's an interesting one. Should most likely, that's a good idea here. They've got with do the Terraform plant status. And then we say if step.plan outcome is equal to failure run exit 1. Alright, so that's a good idea, where if we have an issue within the Terraform plan, then it will exit the reusable workflow and the workflow itself. Cool, so I'll give that an idea plan, so that's fine. Don't think we need to do the compression at the moment. Yeah, our plan's pretty simple. Otherwise, put jobs there at steps. I have missed something. That's jobs, and we want steps. Yeah, one indent too many. What's the issue? Property jobs is not allowed. Okay, steps was indented correctly. There we go, fixed. Okay, so that's the TF plan one. So that should do all of the plan. Now it's still saying there's a problem because we don't have environmental code, but that's fine. That's fine. Don't think this one needed anything. Whew, okay. And this one actually tells me to do a continue on error, just so it can pass through and fail at the next stage if there's an issue. I think that keeps the logs, preserves those logs. Okay. So that's fine. So we got our TFRs file. Right, so now we need to do pretty much something similar here with the apply. Get to planted on. So the workflow call. Mostly need very. Well, actually, we don't need that. So what we're doing is the apply here, because we'll go and download that plan. So, but we'll most likely still need inputs for the GitHub environment. And then we'll still need the secrets. Okay. Jobs. Apply. Alright. And then we come through here. And we're going to effectively take all of that. And run that here. Right. Now I don't think we're going to have that needs working there because we're not running them in we're not running them in the same workflow now. And then do we have GH in that one? When we uploaded it? No, so we don't. So it's just tier plan and environment. That's fine. So yeah, all we're doing is we're downloading the Terraform plan. So we're doing our net Terraform plan and then we're applying that plan. That should be fine. Cool. So that's that one. Okay. So that's that other reusable workflow. It's doing its thing. Now we'll be using the same state file for this at the moment, but you could use separate state files and things like that for it as well. And then in that case you would do something like having a separate storage account for the backend config. But we're not separating them that far at the moment. Again, that's what we might do later. Okay, so now this is the one where we're doing the actual deployment. Okay, so that'll be the infrastructure deployment. So infra deployment.yaml, and then we'll say name structure. I think I spelled that hardly wrong. Deployment on moment, we'll just do a workflow dispatch while we're testing, but that will be on a path, so whenever we get changes, we'll do path and branch. Sorry. So whenever we get changes on a specific path, which will be any of the infra paths, and it's of a certain branch, we'll know where to deploy that one. Yep, and then we'll want to deploy from environment to environment. Okay. So we'll say plan. Alright, so now we want to use the plan. Now, don't know if I need what I need to put in here. I think this is the repo, so I think it is going to be this one, and then it's what did we call it? a typo in the name of the repository, which doesn't happen. So Twitch Steam App Service, and I don't want infra deployments. We want TF apply, and so it's going to use app main, which we find when we got this working, but for the moment that's not going to work. So I'm going to need to call this at setup. So this will refer to the branch that it's looking at, that pipeline for that reusable. So that's fine. Alrighty. So then we go with, and then this is where the environments come up. So I think it was called dev. Just go verify if I used a cap there or not. I think I did. Yes, I used capitals. Sorry. Oh, it's been a long day. Alrighty. And then we'll have the TF file. And then, yep, that's correct. It's /dev TF bars. Was that all I done for? Yeah, I needed those two, and then secrets, and grab those. Now, are they correct? No, because I called them Azure instead of ARM. ARM is Azure Resource Manager, I believe, which we're not really using. That's right. So let's grab those secrets, send them through for dev. Okay, so that's for the plan dev. And then the next one would be deploy dev. What I might do start with, just to test this out, is actually do all of the plans. So I'll do plan in each environment, and that way it'll tell us what it's going to do before it does it, and we'll be able to verify all this works without breaking our current setup, which should be good. Test. And plan prod. Yeah. Prod. Okay, so bam. And then it says deploy. Okay, so now we need to do the needs part. So plan test needs, plan dev, and plan prod. Now, how do I want to do this? Actually, just thinking. I just realized I have a typo. Change all occurrences to be tweet which. I think that was That's it. Stream app service. Tip Steam. I missed an R there, but that's right. We'll put the needs at the moment just to verify it. Test and plan dev. So it needs both of them. That's fine. Cool. Alrighty. So let's now go and now if I called that branch correct, I have. So add all of that. Oops. Space too early. For workflow. Alright. Let's push that on up. Alrighty, let's see. Let's shift over to that branch. Get actions. Not seeing those actions pushed up. We see them in, well, we're back on main, so that doesn't help. Okay, we do see them here. That's that code viewer, that's right. Do see them there. We don't see them here. So we mostly need to shift them in to main just so it actually works. Because at the moment I'm not seeing anything there. So let's update these to main and push them into main so I can actually set up the workflows. Can I set this up to work off? It should be an existing workflow. No, okay. It doesn't want to work like that. That's fine. That's fine. Let's just discard all this change. That's fine. So yeah, we're gonna have to change these to main because it doesn't want to do that, which is a shame. I thought it would definitely do that. Again, showing I don't work at this every day. So mainly at the moment I'm using Azure DevOps pipelines. Which does allow you to kind of set up workflows from a specific branch, but maybe I'm missing something. Okay, that's fine. Alright, that's fine. And then I'll do a pull request, create pull request. Alright, so changes should just be in, changes will be all over the place, so that's right. This may just break the current environment, but that's right, no one's using it. I'm going to leave the branch for the moment. In case we want to do more on that. Yep, so it's kicked off a build. And then it'll do a Terraform push and all that kind of stuff. There we are. So now we've got our infrastructure deployment, our Terraform apply, our Terraform plan, and our this one here. So let's see if I can run this workflow, so it should only trigger the plans. Now it's given me an error. It doesn't like something. It is not, so TFF file is not defined in the referenced workflow. Not defined in the referenced workflow. What's going on there? So TFR file. That one's info deployment line 10:20 invalid input. That'll be why. Linked it to the wrong one. It's alright, we'll just go and update those. Alright, and we'll have to go do another. Nope, that failed. Okay, that's fine. Failed because we've now changed things to use variables and it didn't have to. That's okay. Let's get make a pull request. And so we've updated those to use the correct one now. Cool. Merge that. Alright, get the leaves branch open for now. Yeah, it shouldn't kick off anything because we shouldn't be automating on any of the GitHub workflow updates. Cool. So now, if we try and run this again, now it's running. And we mostly need to add into the name which environment it's actually running here. Oh, we had a failure. This job failed. Yep, okay. This job failed, but why? Template is not valid. Unexpected type Boolean token was encountered when reading workflow job secret value. Okay. So mostly don't need to include that there actually. Because that's not actually something that we really need to. But that's always true. Not done it. Push that up. Do another pull request. Just shifting that one around. Cool. Merge it in. Confirm that merge. Cool. Alright, so let's try that one again. Just realized I can now start testing this on that other branch. Except for if I'm updating it. So if I'm updating it, that won't work. Invalid secret is not defined in the reference workflow. So it's removed from all of the workflows because we don't actually need that. Alright. Do that one again and push it up. Yeah, so I have to keep merging it back because I need the changes to appear in the main branch. For those, that's okay. Setup, create pull request, and merge the pull request. Okay. Let's run our workflow again. Alright, how are we looking this time? Hasn't instantly failed. That's good. So doing a planned dev. Alright, this is running a little bit better now. So this is only going to run the Terraform plans. This is not actually going to run any of the Terraform applies. So we've got error building ARM conflict, obtain subscription. Okay, did I miss a step? Did I? No, we did the login for AZCLI there. Ah, OIDC. So, let me just going to drag this off screen for a minute. I am doing credentially stuff, so just flip that back over there so we're not blinded by it. So credential stuff. Alrighty. Just setting up the IDC connection for the setup. So again, something I'm not really showing on stream just because of where I am in Azure at the time. I don't want to accidentally leak something, so I am in the Azure AD setup. Alright, now I wonder if this is going to work actually because I'm trying to set up our environment. I wonder if that will work. Okay, well let's redo it. So I've set permissions to allow it to work off an environment. So I wonder if that's going to run okay now. So if this works, it should run for the dev environment, but then fail on test. If it's able to run at all. Alright. Nope, Terraform init failed again. Okay. Just making sure I am passing. I'm passing them through. This will tell me if I see. So I'm getting those two inputs through. The secret should also be coming through. Could be that I just maybe need to try again. Maybe I didn't give it enough time to update. Let's just give it a rerun. See if that works any better now. Nope. Why are you not working? So we've got passing the secrets through. It's using IDC. IDC should be working. And IDC should be working anyway because we're coming in off the main branch anyway. So why are we having problems? I'm gonna grab this permission set here. I just want to add this in up here. Don't think that's going to have that much of a difference, but we can certainly find out. Create PR, and merge it in. Cool, that's merged. Let's go through actions. We run the workflow. So back to that init. No, there we go. Maybe that was it. Look, and we had a failure. What's it? Failed to read the variables file because the variables file was called something weird. Alrighty. Because it should be inputs actually. Oh no. Typo. TF var file, not vars. Actually, do I want it? No, it should have the extra S, so I've typoed up here. Which means I've typoed everywhere. Always typos. I'm just gonna go and update all the things. Okay. Yeah, it's just going to update things all over the place. Bars, 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 bars. Alright, cool. Fixing and typos. Right, push that up. That's interesting. It's very interesting actually. It looks like the plan status did not fail as expected. Mostly what we have here, mostly need this to be exit code 1. Let's do exit code 1 as well. Push that up as well. Cool. And I'm just gonna go cancel that workflow at the moment. I don't want you doing things right now. So pull request. Those two, those updates look good. Alright. So just if anyone's interested, this is what a lot of my day-to-day job looks like. It's just reiterating over, changing things, small incremental changes until you get to the point where the thing works. So yeah, this is kind of pipelines 101. You just keep iterating, changing little things, updating things until eventually the pipeline all works. Okay, so that should merge those in. Let's cancel, that's all good. Let's run the workflow. Right, running now. Okay, so it's done the back end, and again, couldn't find. No, it should have worked. Why are we not working there? Why are we not replacing that? Did I miss something? Sorry. What am I missing there? And it looks like again that is not failing as required. So I'm going to go through and actually get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of the continue on error. So I want you to fail on your error. Thank you. Wonder if I need to put the shell there. Oops. Just maybe being explicit about what shell we want to use could be enough. And oops, cancel that. Pull request. New pull request. Fine. pull request, and then merge it. Alright. Alrighty, starting the job again. So we've got our init working, it's contacting the back end, it's correctly getting all that information there, so that's good. It still doesn't want to find that environmental variable. Why are you not finding? At least it failed this time. We got an error and everything stopped. That's good. So we're seeing that in the environment, but it's not echoing out there. So let's have a look. It should be working there. Because they've got that there, and they got that there, and that's fine. So why are we not doing a replacement where we should be? Because we're just doing a run Terraform plan, -s file, tf file. What's going on? Alrighty. That's setting. Definitely know it's setting, because we can see it's setting there. It's just not doing the substitution. Alright. Is it doing so? It's saying given variable file does not exist. Dev.tf files in dev, so it should be infra dev.tf files. No, it is replacing, so, but it's given variable files. Ah, I know what it is. We're already in the infra directory because we've set that as our base here. So from the infos directory, yeah, it doesn't exist. So it should just be that. Okay. Kind of caught that before I got too far down the rabbit hole trying to figure out why a replacement wasn't working when it was. Alright, so that's pushed. Cool. Alright. Pull request. Confirm that merge. Alright, confirm that merge. So that should be good. Let's go back. Let's try and run it again. Cool, alright, rerunning. Let's see how we go this time. Plan, acquiring state lock. Alright, we had an error, but that looks like a different error, so that's good. Reference to undeclared resource. Line 17. Alright, let's go check our. So it's in TF main. There's an error. They say line 17. Resource group. Yeah, that seems to resource group. Because it's in shared now. That's right, no, that's a good catch, because that means we should actually have a resource group per environment. Which I think we did do. We called it app resource group. Alright. Back to main. Just didn't update that part. Should be app resource group. Let's do bar. I think that's what it was. App resource group. Alright, and we need to go update that to. Actually, we need to create the resource group. There we go, that's something we haven't done. Now what we should be able to do is use that as your own resource group in Twitch app. There we go. Fixed it. Alright. Alright, push that up. That's fine. It's going to trigger that other workflow and not run, but that's okay. Alright. Sorry about the yaws. I should take a break in a little bit. Let's getting close to 10. I'm over halfway through for tonight. Just want to get this last little bit running and then I'll take a quick break. Don't really care about that pipeline, it's going to fail anyway, that's okay. Let's run this other part. Alright. Doing the inits, now we do the plan. What happened to the plan? The state is locked. State is locked because the other one is still running. Let's just cancel you. Cancel that workflow. Let's try again without the other one running and blocking the state file. Hopefully it's let go of the save file or I'm going to have to go in and break that lock manually. Which can sometimes happen where the lock kind of gets caught in a failed job and then you have to go and break it. Okay, so connect there, acquiring the state lock. Alright, refreshing state. And this will tell us what we're missing, which should be pretty much everything except for the shared resources. Okay, good. So, okay, so this is telling us that stuff has to be replaced in the state file, that's fine. Okay. That's interesting. It wants to destroy the container registry. Don't actually want it to do that. Because it changed its name in the state file. It wants to remove it. That's annoying. And this one will be replaced. I wonder if that's going to become an issue further down where the other ones are going to replace. Yeah, maybe this is going to become an issue there, and so that's why we're going to need separate state files, because it's the same reference. Yeah, that's the issue. It's the same reference, but we're changing the variables, but the reference here is the same, and that's going to create a problem. So what we're going to need is 3 different state files, one for each environment, and that will work. Which means we should really take these resources out and treat them as standalone, and that's shared. Alrighty, well, I'm going to take a break for a bit. We have got at least something going, but we've got a few things to fix. What's this one? It's still doing the init for some reason. I'll let it run, see where it fails, but I'm pretty sure what we need to do is we need to separate the state files, create 3 state files, or technically 4 because we'll do a shared environment. So it'll be 4 state files for the 4 areas, and we'll go from there. So I'll be back in a little bit after I've had a bit of a stretch and drink, and we'll see where we get to next. Alright, and I'm back. Alright, where did we get to? So that one failed. Yeah, that's alright. So we've got to set up to do this differently. So what I'm going to do is we will going to effectively copy and paste all of the files in here for now. I don't think that did what I wanted it to do. So, and again, I will find a better way of doing this. I'll mostly speak to a colleague later on and get a better way of doing this rather than just copying and pasting all the files across. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to update the provider in each of these to actually, no, we're not going to do that part. We're going to change the key. So we want the key to be different in each of these, except for prod, because there's a, as you know, we'll redo prod. Prod. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder, shared. I'm going to paste those 3 files in shared. But what we're going to do in shared is we're actually going to take out all of the resources except for the shared resources, which is fine. And then the variables, we're going to take all of them out, so that's fine. So that's in shared there. Call this shared. Alright, so we're actually not going to use the default one at all at the moment. Cool. Alright. So we've got dev test. So if we go from dev, you know, with the dev TFRs. Now, we go and remove shared from all of these. Now we're going to leave that as hard-coded at the moment, but that'll be something we need to fix going forwards. Main, no. So main, and actually we do need to go to the variables because we don't need these. I think we still need application, but we don't need those two. Okay. Shared has them product test. Test, we take out the shared. Take out these two. Okay. So then what we do is we come in here, infra deployment, TF plan, var file. Now we're gonna need to change this up. going to change the base to the path that these are running on now. So the working directory is actually going to change. So we're going to put this as an input. And it's going to say path. And so it's the plan art for in the wrong file. We want to be in the plan file. And then we do the path there. And now the working directory becomes the path. And this path here should just be tier plan because they will be in the right path. Alright, is there anywhere else that I'm setting a directory or a location? No, that should be fine. And then we remove that, and then we add path. And now the path becomes where the base there. Okay. Just notice that too. That's the bad. Going to be prod. Okay. It's a bit there, that's right. Let's push and let's see how we go with that one. So we'll go do our PR. Okay, merge that PR in. It's fine. Go to our actions. It's gonna let's actually cancel that one. Don't want that one to do its thing. Okay, so it's cancelled. So now let's try the infrastructure deployment again. All right. Now this should be a completely new Terraform state file, so we should just get full create on this. Everything will need to be created, but we'll check what it's going to create. Alright, now I did give us a bit of a warning saying that there was no TF plan output. Root modules not declare a variable for Docker. So it said it saved it to TF plan. Why didn't it pick it up? Maybe it does need the full path to pick up that file, because it's using an action, not using the run. Alright, so I will need to change that one to do specify needs to be that. Okay. So that'll fix that issue now. What are the other warnings? Value undeclared variable Docker image and ASP core environment. The root module does not declare a variable, but a variable is found there. Because I have misspelled it. And this needs to be name. Okay, that would be why. Issues. Still having a bit of a net issue on that one, but let's just cancel the workflow for the moment. Deal with that later. Cool, create the pull request. Checking something on this. Alrighty. Merge that pull request. Cool. Cancel that workflow. Alright. It should be cancelled. Alright. That's the back in there. State lock. Alrighty, that looks more promising. So it did give us that. There we go. No warnings. No warnings. Okay. So now what's happening here? Now, I wonder if this is because I don't have an environment set up for OIDC. Let's go and get that set up now anyway. Alright. Oh, may work because I just added the the credential. Could be it. I have to add one more for shared. And we had a fail. That's right, what was going on here? Could not acquire access tokens paths identified. No. Okay, cool. So that may have been. Let's just check that. Okay, and here is the assertion subject for that, which I do have in place now. That's right, so it might just have been taking a minute to update. That's fine. Okay. Let's rerun it now that I've updated some of those credentials. So that's alright. Alright. Don't sneeze. Okay, where are we now? So we're rerunning, doing the dev Terraform plan, which we know has worked. Now let's just see if we can get the test and prod plans to work. Okay, so that's plan dev done. Let's go through test. So we're doing the init. Saying that's successful. Now we're doing the plan. Acquiring the lock to the file. Yep, that one's good. And now finally prod. So again doing the init. Okay. Alright, good. All three are green. So that is good. So we can now deploy the infrastructure changes across all three. Well, at least so we hope. So let's go and add the actual applies in now. And that should be fairly simple and straightforward, but now I've said that, it's going to cause us all sorts of troubles. Alright, let's just close down all this. There you go, apply. So, now let's put the path in here as well, just to be on the safe side. No, stop doing the thing I don't want you to do. So we'll put the path in here so that the working directory can be set to the path. And it shouldn't matter too much since we're downloading that. Actually, while I check that, have a quick look at that last action. We should have our artifacts. So we have tier plan dev, tier plan prod, tier plan test. Just click on one of those, it should download as a zip, and then we can see that's downloaded there. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. So that should be fine. We'll do the download to yeah, so download will need to be to the path. And we'll download the Terraform plan. We need to set the environment. Let's run on the environment. See, it should work. Again, so it's on run, so it's in the working directory. Alright, that should be okay. So now what we need to do is we need to do the apply dev. Okay. And use this though too. Alright. Oh. Did I spell that wrong? No? Up consistency here. The other thing we'll do is do the needs here as well. Okay, so that should be good. That should all be good. Apply prod. All right. All right, and push it up. Okay, let's go with new pull request. Create a pull request. Right, that's merged in. Alright, and now let's run this workflow. Nope, didn't like something. Line 23. I'm missing some things. Which, no, we don't need that. I think. Let's just don't have that environment set up. So we don't take file files. That's fine. Copy the secrets here. Okay, so that should be right there. Let's just do a little bit of formatting. We're all squished up and we can't see what's going on. Okay. Right, push that one up. Cool. Alright, let's try this again. Okay. Alright, so doing our first step, so a Terraform plan. Another thing we're doing here is we're actually building almost a mini landing zone too, with having the different areas per environment. So if we were to add networking in, we would actually be creating a hub and spoke network here, which is maybe something we can look at doing. Right, now we're doing the apply. Alright. We're doing our init. Now the applications that are running will fail. It'll be interesting to see if, because they're not going to be able to pull the correct Docker images because I don't have all the tagged Docker images in place yet. So that's okay. Okay, so we're going ahead. We're creating the dev resource group. Alright, that looks promising. So setting up the dev service plan. All right. Alright, so that's on the Terraform apply. So let's actually go have a quick look. Should be able to see what that's doing. Let's just bounce through my subscription, resource groups. There we go. So we've got our Twitch app dev over there, and we have our app service and our service plan, which is what we want. Great. And now we're doing our test. So the other thing we'll want to do here is at some point we'll add in checks for where the changes are coming from. So if they're just coming from kind of a separate, like a dev branch, we will have or feature branch will be able to deploy to dev, a release branch as well. So feature branch we deploy to dev, a release branch we deploy to test, and then anything to the main branch gets deployed to prod. So what we'll do is we'll write that down so that I don't forget it. So we got feature, deploy, so strat. So we're doing a feature branch. So we say branch name is feature, and then deploy target is dev. Okay. So then if it's a release, then it deploys into test. And then finally, each name is main, then it deploys into prod. There we go. I'll add that as a comment there, so that's on that CI/CD, which is effectively so what we'll be doing next time, I think, at this stage. We're still finishing off these environments, but they're looking promising. So we've done our plans and our applies are working. We're now doing the prod plan and apply. The other thing that we do with this kind of stuff is set in approvals. So prod will have an approval gate, so even though it's been deployed to the main branch, it will still need someone to come in and tick a box and say, yep, that should go in. Same as test, really. It shouldn't just auto deploy, it should have at least someone say, yes, this should go in, and then the rest of the steps automate from there. Alrighty. And then we pop back here. Let's go back to our resource groups here. You can see the test resource group is there. We've got dev test. And app service and the app itself, and then prod. Actually, while we look at that, we should be able to see in the config. No, mostly won't be in configs. We pulling. No, so actually we should be able to see the ASP.NET Core environment variable. And yep, so it's development there. That's good. Okay, let's go have a look at test. Configuration. So the websites won't work because we don't have the correct name. So again, values test, so that's good. And we're still doing the apply for prod at the moment. But that's good. This is so far all working. So there's quite a bit of cleanup to do. I definitely don't think it's in a optimal state with the way it's working, but it is working at the moment. And I'll have to do some of this shared. At the moment that can just stay as is. Alright, there we go. So we've got apply, and our plans are all done. Cool, so if we go back here, we refresh, now we have our prod, and that environment should have the configuration. Might just need a minute. This one will actually should be running. So let's see if we can actually hit that one. Maybe taking a minute to start. Application error apparently. It's mostly an application error because I believe, go back to this one, we have changed the initial database catalog. So we will need to sort the databases out at a point in time later on. And I'll have to figure out that, so that'll be doing things like applying these migrations to each of the databases. Cool. Which I also should sort of work out a way to automate. That one's really hard. That database automation is still quite difficult. Alright, so we got that set of direction. And I'd say this is still dying. Let's see if we can view log stream. That's another task for the future, is to get log analytics in place so we can monitor. Especially now we have 3 environments, we're going to want monitoring in there to help us see what's going on. And the log stream, yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Cool. Yeah. Absolutely. So logs, I don't think there'll be anything in there. That's alright. Nothing on the log stream. Oh no, apparently it was running. I think I've mostly got a configuration here that's most likely mixed up. So go back and look at settings here. properties. Yep. So we mostly need to add the properties for the different environments here. So that's right. We can do that at some point. Get that going. And then there's connection strings here as well. I wonder what takes precedent over here actually with these connection strings, but that's maybe something to look for later. Alrighty, but for now we have got all three environments running. The pipeline is running, successful. So I would say that we have completed that one. So we've now completed that environmental setup. So we still have a few things here left to do. Gonna kind of backlog these three at the moment. They require a bit more investigation, maybe some offline work, just to try and figure out what's going on with it. But these two are our next ones. I think we'll do CI/CD environments for the next stream, and then we'll add some application insights to the application itself, so that we can start getting logs and metrics coming out of them, so we can see issues earlier, and we can see a bit like with this one here, what's happening here, and we can get a good idea of what the issue are. I'm pretty sure this is kind of problems to do with the container. Okay. So just going to go through and analyze some of our issues, and our issues are that the app isn't working because it's a connection string issue there. That's okay. So let's just go through and actually stop all of these from running, because they don't need to be running at the moment. So I need 3 services running that aren't actually doing anything, but that's okay. Make sure the old one is full, so yeah, still running apparently, but we'll stop you. Cool, alright, they're all stopped. Cool, so what we'll do, I think everything's up to date, so we'll go and delete that branch that we were working on. Delete that one. I think these I can delete all of these as well, because they've all been merged. I don't think that one we were doing anything with. So there we go. We've cleaned up to the main branch, which is good. Alrighty. So that's the project there. I think that's pretty much it for tonight. Let's just have a quick look over what we've done. So we've got a couple of reusable workflows designed so that we can do Terraform apply and Terraform plan being called without having to reduplicate all that code, which is good. We've got our main infrastructure deployment script here. So this allows us to call those reusable workflows, supply them with the vars file and the path and some credentials, and then that allows us to do the plan and deploy and applies. So that's cool. if we go into the info itself, so we've set up these areas. So these are things we most really can set up to be more modularized, so make these more modules rather than just repeat, but we'll see. So that's fine. They've split them out into their own Terraform state files, so there's a state file per environment now, so that's okay. And we put everything in variables now, so that the main has very little. There's a couple of hard codes still sitting around that we will work out what we can do with later on. Alrighty. So I think and then we set up the different connection strings in here as well. So I'm wondering if I can do that inside the config for the app service rather than inside these, but we'll work that out a bit later. And I won't worry about that one too much today. Okay. And I was just trying to work out why is that called initial application date. It should be state. More typos, but that's alright. I will get that one fixed later. Actually, let's just pop that one in to what file was that in? So it's in the Twitch chapter. Initial application date. Date. Okay, so I could make that one an issue. Alrighty, cool. So I'll get that one fixed later. Just while I'm checking some things, I've got security advisories are enabled. That's good. I should enable Dependabot alerts. Yep. Used by counter. That should be fine. So Dependabot alerts we want enabled. We want Dependabot security updates, so it creates pull requests for us, and we want version updates as well. And that's fine. We can put that Dependabot, except for it doesn't like that, so let's put in. Nope, no, I don't want it. Not useful. Let's go back to that. Go back. We just need to create a new branch for it to do its thing on. So we'll create that branch. Apparently, no, we won't create that branch. That branch already exists. Okay. Okay. There we go. Just nope, 404 again. GitHub is clearly getting a bit tired as well. Oh, alright. let's try that one again from the start, hey? Actually go back via security, view dependable alerts. So at the moment there are no dependable alerts, that's fine. So it should be in settings. Match request archives, no danger zone, we don't want anything in the danger zone. Good security now, there we are. So do this here. Why are you not letting me switch the branch to which I wish to create this on? That's interesting. Right, I'll deal with that later. But that one's a bit interesting. That I couldn't. It tries to create it on my main branch, which I do not want to do. We won't bother with private vulnerability reporting at the moment, that's fine. So we'll dismiss the low impact, that's okay. KQL, what is an eligible? That's organization level. Okay, so we're not in any. We're not using Go, TypeScript, JavaScript, Python, or Ruby, so we are not going to enable that. Do that. Might as well enable secret scanning, just so we have all the things enabled. So we're doing what we can with the security here. Let's have a look at this. So this is adding rule sets for branch protection. So this is something we should look at later on. So restrict creations received updates, only allow users with bypass permission to update matching refs. Restrict deletions, require linear history to prevent merge commits. That one's not a bad idea, so trying to keep things clean, stop for a mess before it happens. I say as I was doing something that was a bit messy before, which was just kept pushing from the same branch. Shouldn't really do that, but it was okay in our case, because we're the only ones committing, and there were no further changes. So require deployments to succeed, so if we click on that, we would then, that's cool, so we require the deployments into the other areas to succeed, and that's using deployment environments. If we go test, so that would say that we'd have to have deployed successfully into test before merging changes into a branch. Cool. Sign commit, so essentially you have to have used a key to sign, or so essentially logged in by Git using a authenticated system. So usually how I do that was with an SSH key, and then that would give me a signed commit telling them that I'm the one who did the commit. So require a pull request for merging, require all commits to be made to a non-target branch and submitted by pull request before they can be merged, which is kind of what we're doing with our normal branch protection, but that's alright. and block false pushes is good. So that's kind of cool. So that allows you to set up specific rule sets on branches, and then enabling bypasses when you need them. Yeah, okay, good. Looks interesting. Let's discuss that at the moment. Definitely something we can look at. That should be something that you should be able to set up, just thinking with when you automate setting up GitHub repos in a large organization. So it might be you have like organization-wide rule sets, which all the branches have to apply, like adhere to, which would be good because it just limit then the amount of different people doing different things, which you don't want in a large organization because that gets really confusing. So we've got our environments there. That's all good. So I think we're all good there. Don't think we have any sudden flood of pull requests from dependable issues, which is good. Alrighty. So next stream this week will most likely be. I'm just trying to think what I got on this week. Maybe I might do another Friday night stream. So that will be work continuing on the Twitch ChatGPT bot. So Twitch enabled. So the Twitch bot that's enabled with ChatGPT through the Azure OpenAI service. So might continue that then, if not early in the week. But at this stage, I'll plan at this stage for Friday, but we'll see. So yeah, I've got a lot of ideas on what I want to do with that, a lot of testing I want to do. So it'd be good to try and get some people in to help test with that. Kind of make it a bit more of a fun thing, a bit more interaction is good. And then as per normal, these VODs will be downloaded and uploaded to YouTube. I also think of doing some kind of more scripted YouTube stuff with some of the OIDC setup and things that involve secrets, so I can actually show what I'm doing off camera without accidentally leaking all the credentials everywhere. So I will look to work on that between my normal day job, but we'll see. Alright, well, I think we've pretty much finished for tonight, so I hope everyone enjoyed this session, and we'll see everyone on the next stream. Good night all.